Thank you. Okay. So let's focus on few things. Okay. The first one, okay. Why we are focusing on quotient? We are focusing on quotient is only because we want to measure our personality, knowledge. We want to measure our skills, okay? And we want to measure our adaptation capability. Clear? That's why we want to go for the quotient. And the very first one is intelligence quotient. I think all of you know that what is IQ, right? And I say that like if so many times we say that, you know, he has a very good IQ. Don't we say that? Yes. Right. What does it mean? IQ? Intelligence quotient. But what is intelligence quotient? It's something like your problem solving ability. Are you writing it down? Problem solving ability. Clear? It's something like you are very good in math, very good in quiz, or maybe general knowledge. It means what? Intelligence quotient. So what does it mean, intelligence quotient? Ability. Clear? Okay, now come for EQ. And you know what? Many of the cases, like if you are in the sector of this one, education, this education is largely dependent on where? IQ. Right. If you're going for any job interview, the very first thing you need what? IQ. If you're going for an exam, you need what? IQ. Not only the IQ, like even whoever you are, you need this one, right? Math? Right, okay. The person who has great ability just to solve the math, he must have what? Great IQ. So this is what we must have. So do you have this quality, intelligence quotient? I don't know. But you must have this capability. Now this come for EQ. EQ, what does it mean, EQ? Emotional quotient. Emotional quotient is much more significant. It's like you exactly know that your emotion is going to, sometimes it's going to be up and down, right? It's your quotient, it's meaning that it's your ability to adapt, just to adapt with your emotion. Or if I say that, it's kind of related with empathy, and then it's kind of related with sympathy. And do you know what's the difference between empathy and sympathy? What's the difference between empathy and sympathy? Empathy. Empathy is something meaning like that. Like if I give you an example, like one of your friends is hurt badly, and now you say that, you know, I feel you. It's called sympathy. But empathy is something different, much more than sympathy. You've been to the doctor and you call a doctor and immediately you're feeling like you're nervous because you're feeling the same pain like your friend. That's called empathy. Clear? Empathy is much more different, like it's more than sympathy. It's something like you're feeling the same pain and you are doing the same like your friend is doing, the wounded friend is doing. Clear? That's called empathy. So emotional quotient is something, emotional quotient that depends on your what? Empathy and sympathy. The quality you must have this one, okay? And if I say that it's much more significant, okay, I will say what? Emotional quotient. Now come for the social quotient. What is the social quotient? Social quotient is all about networking. Is all about what? Networking. Connection with people. Connection with what? People. With people. Okay. So many of us, I think all of you know that introvert and then extrovert. I think these are two kind of personality traits. Introvert means what? Reserved, right? Reserved. Extrovert means what? Good going or friendly or something like, right? Or expressive, we should say. Expressive. So this what means social quotient? Networking, connecting with the people. And this is not, you know what? At today's age, meaning that what? Today is 2023. I guarantee you that these two quality, EQ and SQ, are much more significant than IQ. Okay? Because you know what? You find that people may have average IQ. You may have average IQ, but if you're really good at SQ and EQ, the world is yours. You find that in the society, like there are some people, he's so introvert, but he has a very, immense IQ, but the problem he has is that like he has less EQ and SQ, and you find that he doesn't survive in the society. He becomes isolated. Why? Because he doesn't know how to connect with the people. He doesn't have the ability to make a networking. He doesn't have any emotional stability. He doesn't know how to face the world. Clear? So it disturbs you a lot. So meaning that having EQ and SQ and an average IQ can make you someone greater. Okay? But only, I have only knowledge, that's it. I can solve any kind of math. It's not going to get you, or it's not going to give you something in the society until unless you have a greater balance of EQ and SQ. Clear? Then go for the AQ. The AQ is, I think it's being recently added. Do you know what is adversity? Yes, adversity meaning that, if I say you the direct meaning is tough times. What is that?
Tough times.
Tough times. And if I say you that like it's like that rough, do you know what is the meaning of rough?
Yes.
Rough patch of life. Okay? Clear? There's the rough patch, meaning that the rough roads of the life. AQ, adversity quotient. You find that so many students, they give up. They commit suicide, right? They give up in the society because they believe that they're not going to get anything from the society. Why? Because they have less amount of what? Adversity quotient. They don't know how to adapt with the difficult situation, and that's why they suffer in the long run, and they give up, right? It's your ability to fight against the tide, fight against the tribulations or difficult times. It's your ability. And then you become stronger day by day. So the problem is that, our education system and everything that only focuses on where?
IQ.
Right? You are at the university and you find that, you're only focusing what? Intelligence quotient. But there might be some student who is going to get a good job. It's not because that he or she has a good IQ, but he has, EQ and SQ, very good one. And he or she can get a very good job. You get it? Yes. Why? Because these two qualities are, and there might be a fighter even in the classroom that calls AQ, because he fight against all the odds of his life. And he can stand tall. Why? Why? Because he has the ability to fight against the adversity. In your life, the life you have, if you can fight, because life is full of what? Life is full of what? Tragedies. And if I say the life is full of what? Adversities. Okay? That's a true fact, right? And you find that why? Sometimes you fail to achieve something or obtain something in your life, you become what? Loss. Right? Or we call it what? Sense of loss. And that ultimately creates frustration, right? Depression, and then what? The ending is what? Suicide, right? But you know what? If you have this quality in your physic or mental stability, that will really help you just to fight against all the things like frustration, depression, and suicide thing. Meaning that you can cope up with any kind of situation. Clear? Okay, let me tell you one thing. Like, have you seen the birds? Like, if there's a storm, how does the bird cope up with the storm? That is called what? Adversity quotient, right? So make sure that you have that quotient actually, adversity quotient, so that you can cope up with any kind of situation. Like, when you are in the classroom, you might have a fight with one of your friends, right? So what should you do at this time? Should you fight back? No, you should fight with what? EQ and your AQ, right? You get it? And this EQ and AQ, when you fight with someone with EQ and AQ, ultimately that creates what? A balance, SQ. It creates a what? Good networking with the people. You find it? It's really interesting. So make sure that if you want to be 360 degree, meaning that if you want to be an all-rounder, then you must have these 4 qualities. And these 4 qualities can be summed up, and that this can be achieved with another SQ. Another SQ. Do you know what is that? Spiritual. You can write it down, please. Spiritual quotient. What is spiritual? When you have a good sense of religious beliefs, you exactly know what is right and what is wrong, and that this SQ, spiritual quotient, can help you to achieve these 4 Qs. And these 4 Qs, these are immensely significant, but trust me, if you have this kind of power, spiritual quotient, because when you feel so much depressed and sad, you find that people start what? Praying, right? Why? Because when you have adversity, you want to fight back against the adversity. And how can you fight back against the adversity? Whatever your religion is, you can fight back with what? Praying. So we find that the SQ, another SQ, spiritual quotient, can really help you to build up your 360 degree qualities. You get it? So now let's repeat the class. How many Qs are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. What's the pronunciation of this one? Quotient. What is the first one? Second? Emotional. Third? Fourth? Adversity quotient. Now if I want to listen from you, what is intelligence quotient? Very good. And then? It's your academic things, right? How you can solve a problem instantaneously, meaning that very instantly you can solve the problem. And then what is your emotional quotient?
Ability to adapt any kind of
emotion, right? Sometimes we get lost because you are in love and you feel broken and you can't give, life is gone, right? It's meaning what? You have a poor EQ. If you have a good balanced EQ, you can stand up, right? It's not going to cause you harm. Then what is SQ? Exactly. And sometimes you say that, why he gets a job because he's a very good reference. You don't say that he has a very good reference. You should say that he has a very what? Good SQ, social quotient. You can do the same thing, right? Okay. What is adversity quotient? Exactly. So now it says that, if I say that, I think all of you are in the second zone, but I'm writing the full sentence. Don't prepare the road, you can write it down, for your children, but prepare your children for the road. That is called adversity quotient. Clear? Do you see the difference? Do you see the difference? No. Don't prepare the road for your children. What does it mean? The parents usually they do one thing. They prepare the road for you, right? So that you have a very good time. But if you want to have a very, it say that if you want to achieve this 360 degree quality, then make sure that we should prepare you people for the road, right? Do you get me? Yeah. The very easy thing. So I should prepare the road for you, or should I prepare you for the road? I should prepare the road for you, or
No. Ask for the road.
exactly. You should know how to lead on the road, right? How to walk on the road. You should learn it by yourself. Okay. Now it says that in English, it says that if you're feeding your child with a spoon, after a certain period of time, he only knows the shape of the spoon.
Yeah.
You get it? Like if you're feeding a child with the spoon, after a certain period of time, he only knows the shape of the spoon, but he never learns how to feed himself. Clear? So why am I teaching this to you? What's the reason? It's because I want to see you here. I don't mind if you have, I know that when I ask you that, what's the measurement of a circle? You said me it's 90 degrees. So it means what? You have a very poor IQ, right? But I don't mind if you have a poor IQ. But I really mind if you don't have this one, EQ, SQ, AQ, because IQ is something God gifted. But these three you have to build by yourself. Clear? Are you okay, fine with that, what I've said? The IQ might be God gifted. Now if I say that, like, I know that there must be Messi and Ronaldo fan, there must be. Lots of, but I'm a fan of Ronaldo. So, okay, controversial. Okay, let it be controversial. Like if I say that Messi is much more gifted, right? Yes. Because look at his height, he's a small pack, but he has everything you want, right? So he has what? Good IQ, God gifted. But if you think of Ronaldo, he has created these three qualities by himself. See, right? Fact. So meaning that, I want you to learn that don't mind, don't feel lost if you have this less amount of IQ. But trust me, if you build this 3-1 in this practical life, these three are much more important than this IQ. Let it be like an average IQ, I don't mind, but please have these three. You have to create it by yourself. Clear? Done?
Yes.
Thank you so much. If you have any question, you can ask me the question. Turn off the recording.